The following is a pre-recorded conversation between two siblings and is filled with personal opinions and biases. It should not be taken seriously by anyone. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to You Don't Make Friends with Giant Squids podcast. I'm Jackson.
I'm Squid.
And this is still Pride Prejudice.
Oh, part 2! Man, I get my watch.
Yes, we love this movie.
Pride and Prejudice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's always good when put on like comfort movie.
See, because again, dew.
Dew? Oh, morning dew. It just reminds me of the emoji for thirst.
Dew.
It's all dewy, you know. What do you think my noises?
Talking about that party.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, with
that
her and Darcy on the dance floor, like in the white ball.
The entire white ball sequence is amazing.
Oh yeah,
Like the way everything's filmed, when you're seeing everyone there, like from their cousin to like all the sisters, the dad, the mom,
regiment.
Darcy, like it's so great. Bingley and Jane, like him following her, him barely touching her ribbon.
Oh
that's
yeah,
in the back.
those little moments
God.
of affection.
I just got chills just thinking about it. It's so good. And then you see Darcy in the back, like kind of like coming through the crowds, and he's never rude in the crowds. Like, because you'd think of someone of his station where people part for him, he doesn't.
He's not too overbearing.
No, he doesn't demand space like that, which is interesting. I noticed it in the first ballroom scene where he's like coming toward
Well, I don't think
Lizzie.
he likes the attention.
No,
I think
he
he's like
doesn't.
Jane in that way, where it's like, yeah, he has the attention, but once the attention's released, he wants to fade into the background.
fade into the background.
He doesn't want people to be constantly on him.
Yeah, and he's not rude. And that's great. That just shows more like even the way he moves through a crowd. It shows that he's not a rude person.
Yeah,
which is great.
that he has manners.
Because he's Darcy.
Yeah, honestly,
The ideal man, Darcy.
Darcy is legit like one of my ideals. Like, I don't even think Matthew McFadyen is that attractive outside Darcy.
Well, the only other thing I've seen him in, he was playing a detective, and he looked really drunk and 5 o'clock shadowed, and like another
was that
50
Penny
pounds.
Dreadful? Penny Dreadful, yeah.
He's got like another 50 pounds on him too.
Yeah, and they have him like balding and everything.
Yeah, like
But still,
let's go back to Darcy.
His Darcy and the way he looks at Keira Knightley in some of those scenes is so angsty and pained. And
Do you know what?
Oh my gosh.
We're looking at him the way she sees him.
That's true.
Which is love. You know, we're seeing that. And I
Yeah.
think that's what this movie does a really great job. And
Of
we're seeing
showing
the
love.
the same way. We're seeing Lizzie in the same eyes too.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
we see Lizzie through Darcy's eyes, and we see Darcy through Lizzie's eyes.
which is just great. Like, man. And then I just think about that other scene.
In the rain.
Yes. I mean, honestly, top 10 scenes, Rain first. No, ending first.
Ending, the American
ending.
alternative ending.
Yes, because which is considered one of the top endings of all time, of all movies.
You know what's? I couldn't
Beautiful.
believe it.
I cried. I saw it again today, and I cried.
Okay. Let me put this in perspective, right? So originally, this movie is supposed to end after she gets her father's approval and she goes out the fucking door, right?
Yeah.
American, Californian, never ever had I ever seen this happen until we moved into this house, right? So I'm watching Pride and Prejudice on Netflix, and then it just ended. And I was like, where's my Darcy? Where's my favorite scene? What happened? I didn't understand. And I even like ran out the room and I was like, there's no ending. What happened to the ending on Netflix? I'm like, am I fever dreaming this? There was an ending, right? And I would like ran out and found mom and I was just like, look at this. And I played it and then it just ended. And she goes, what? It doesn't end there. I remember there being more. It's like, yeah, there was more. And then it turns out there's this whole thing where it's like,
It didn't test well.
Yeah, it didn't test well for American audiences.
So for the UK audiences.
Really? I thought it was American audiences. Because it's
this
the
is
American alternate ending.
The way it ends is for America.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kissing is us. That's our ending.
Yeah.
But in the UK, that ending didn't test well in the UK. Because they're fucking prudes. They don't like love. They don't like affection. That's so upsetting.
Oh, yeah. I thought that the reason was because the UK liked the original version and American audience couldn't handle not having the kiss at the end. Because they're like, I paid my money, give me that kiss. Let me see it. I want to see it.
According to the article I read, it was because that the kissing did not test well in the UK.
No way.
Yeah, so they changed it. So they were like, no. And I was like, no, sir. That's my first favorite scene because that makes me cry. Every time, even today.
Yeah, I remember. I was walking out while you were watching it, and I saw your face. You were like, during the rain scene, you're like,
yeah, second rain scene.
Yeah, you're watching the rain scene because I heard the music. I knew what you were watching, and it just finished, and you're just like, oh my God, they're like, oh my little cutie, my little baby. They get together at the end. It's okay. You don't have to worry.
There's just so much passion.
I know. They have such good chemistry.
Such good chemistry, and then they lean in after they yell at each other about pride,
for the almost kiss.
The Pride and Prejudice of Pride and Prejudice.
I know those lines so well.
And it's like
right at the end.
It's like, oh. Yeah. Like I know, yeah. And her eyes get like
kind of glazy.
Glazy and a little hooded. Like ooh.
Yeah. She felt that passion.
I was like, ooh. And then I was just thinking, God, like that rain scene's so good. But then it's like, what kind of trope is that? Like in every like romance movie, like they've got to be out in the rain talking about their feelings.
Well, I mean, if the rain doesn't tell you that it's intense, how are you gonna know it's intense?
But then, like, yeah, because the part of that scene where it's like where it hits you in your chest is when he's like telling like the impropriety like of your like even your father, and then that dun dun like the thunder, and the look on her face, and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it, and it's like. The environment plays so well because it's a storm that's been brewing, and she didn't really even know that the storm was coming because Darcy's insane.
No, because the thing is that in Lizzie's timeline in her head, she was kind of feeling him, and then he was like, "Bitch ain't handsome enough to tempt me," and she was like, "Fine, fuck you." Oh, I don't need you. You stay in your miserable house of dust. Like, fuck, damn. So she goes off being herself because she runs into Bingley and her sister, so she's gonna see him a lot. But in that moment, Darcy, who like completely dismissed her at first, starts seeing her in a different way. So while she's trying to like live her best life, Darcy's coming out being like, this girl's living her best life. Look at this, you know? Yeah. He's like, oh, I kind of like the way she lives, you know?
Yeah, she does what she wants, walks outside.
Right? She's so independent. She's not reliant on things. It's like probably super refreshing compared to the type of people he's been around.
Yeah, or she's more of a, I mean, they quote unquote like farm girl, countryside girl.
Yeah.
Like, she's not really a city girl. Like, whatever. If you want to put people in those kind of like boxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a rich farm girl.
Yeah, and right at the rain scene, he's like, I've been like wallowing in torment, and I can bear it no longer.
And you're like, what?
What's going on here? I'm sorry, did something happen while I was, being me?
Yeah, like
I was off living my best life.
Just like when he had shown up at the at Mr. Collins's house, Mr. and Mrs. and he was gonna propose there.
Yeah, but he just chickened out.
He chickened out. Yeah. But then it's like she was legit confused why he's visiting her for one.
What did you do to poor Mr. Darcy?
She's like, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Then he just takes off on his horse.
Yeah,
quick.
And he had to come at her at the worst possible. I mean, I get that he was obsessing over it and he needed her to be alone for like a minute so he could do what he needs to do. But like, she just found out that he separated her sister and her boy toy. Like,
but also, it's also like, where do you get off? Like, fucking like wanting to be with Elizabeth when you just separated him for
the exact same
family.
Yeah,
like it's like what why are you special?
Yeah,
like or why is that not a caveat for you but it's a caveat for your friend? Like what? And also, if you want to talk about someone not giving, like saying that, oh well, she was indifferent to Bingley, that Jane was indifferent, it's like fucking Elizabeth didn't even know you liked her. Right. Like, that's super indifferent.
I think, because obviously in Darcy's...
Bitch.
Well, I know, where does he get off? But it's like, I get that's Lizzie, but from Darcy's, it was in the service of a friend.
But then what about you?
Yeah, but the sister asked. She's like, Darcy, you can't. He can't be serious. Like, we got to separate him from that family. You've seen what that family's like. And then he's like, okay. I mean, if that's what she wants, she doesn't want her brother in that situation.
But then, like, talk to the dude who wants to get married. Like, but then again, I was even thinking about this during the movie. I was like, Elizabeth loves him, like her whole feelings turn around once Darcy fixes everything. Like he fixes the thing with Lydia, gets Wickham to agree, like pays him off pretty much, gets him to agree to marry her and to a really small dowry from the family because, you know, he paid him a shit ton.
Yeah.
But then it's like plus getting Bingley back with Jane, which puts the family back into a higher echelon of society.
Yeah.
Is all self-serving because of what he wants.
Because he wants Lizzie.
He wants Lizzie. Talking about Darcy doing everything for his own gain. And that's an issue that I'm having now with it. Because, like, you can't give him the credit for being altruistic and helping out this family when really he will benefit from it. Like, he would.
Was he going to benefit from it, though? Or was he just trying to get him and Lizzie back to neutral because he didn't like being seen as a bad guy?
But even then, that's still doing it for your own benefit. You're doing it because someone's mad at you.
Oh, you mean because the thing with pride is it doesn't matter how many selfless actions you do, it's always for the greater glory of Prue.
See, exactly. The greater glory of Prue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, but then it's like, then nothing that he did.
I mean, it's still good. He still did good things. Just because his intentions were a bit self-serving doesn't make them any less good.
But they do, though.
How?
Because a right thing done for the wrong reason is not
But
really the right thing.
But then that's like going to become a debate about moral desert and everything. And it's like, I think that what matters is that there's good in the world. I don't care what the intentions are. I just want there to be good because it's better than nothing. Like, good with false pretenses is still better than not good.
I think, though, even bad with the intention of being good, like, I think the intentions matter more than the result.
Well, what's the saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, but that's from, like, someone who's super bitter.
Yeah, but I don't believe in intentions. I believe in actions. Because you can intend a bunch of things, but your actions are what dictate at the end of the day what actually happens. So it's like, you can say that he's doing this for the greater glory of Prue, but at the end of the day, it's a good thing.
True. At the end of the day, it is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But I also feel like he's given more credit for it.
Than what he should get?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that point in the movie, the laugh Keira Knightley gives at his estate when she turned that shit down and she's walking what she would have been mistress of. Like, I mean, after seeing how awesome his fucking house is, I would have been like, yeah, you know what? I don't care how he was doing this. It counts. Put it in the win column, you know, because Mama likes her statues.
Because
she like he's just so rich. Aw, so rich. Yeah.
What are men to rocks and mountains?
What carriages that work? I take care, my love. That savors strongly of bitterness. So good. Because it's the Peak District's not Brighton and officers are few on the ground, which may
influence your decision.
Yeah, may influence your decision.
This is like they're either eaten with stupidity or so easily led that they can't make a decision for themselves.
No, take care, my love. Yeah, that's good. I like her family because they're all so witty. You know, it's good.
It's because they all came from one head. They all came from one witty person.
Oh, they all got that wit gene.
See,
that's good. I like it.
Now let's talk about some of our least favorite scenes. Do we have any?
I don't really have it because this goes back to the whole 1995 Pride and Prejudice versus 2005 Pride and Prejudice.
See.
And it's kind of like the way that Wickham is handled. Because I think that with the actor that they got to play Wickham in this one, he seems good. Like his insides seem good. And Wickham's inside, that's Wickham's whole personality, is that his insides are rot and his outside's what makes people think he's good. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that this actor portrayed that, you know.
Inside rot?
Yeah, that inside rot. It felt more like he was just like a guy.
Yeah.
That was kind of cute. You know. But I didn't get that duality.
But I did get sniveling from the BBC miniseries. He felt like a used car salesman.
That's what he is. That's because he's Darcy's foil, you know? Like, that's the comparison. Because, yeah, Darcy's a shit when you first meet him, but deep down, he's good. That's his whole thing. Whereas Wickham's the opposite. But when Lizzie is upset at Darcy, Wickham's her shelter. He's her. They go to the side and they rag on Darcy because they don't like him.
Yeah.
Like he's her petty.
Yeah, and when she becomes petty with Darcy in the fight, she brings up Wickham.
Yeah, she does.
She immediately, when she's like, "Oh, you hurt me and insult my family." Like, what about Mr. Wickham?
Yeah,
like she even like gets sassy.
Yeah,
like her head tilts.
How do you excuse your behavior towards him?
And then he's like, and that's when he steps toward
Mr. Wickham.
her. Mr. Wickham.
You take an eager interest in that man's affairs.
He told me of his misfortunes.
Oh, yes, his misfortunes have been good to you. You ruin his chances and treat him with sarcasm.
Like, so this is your opinion of me.
Thank you for explaining so fully. Do you expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your circumstances? And these are the words of a gentleman. Your arrogance and conceit and your selfish disdain for the feelings of others made me realize you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry. I did that because there was you know when she goes to his house after they have like their blow up and she's all awkward and he's all awkward and she's like, oh, I'm in town with my aunt and uncle.
Yeah, and she's like, I really didn't know you were gonna be here. Yeah, like we're up in your house. You were having an intimate moment with your sister. I was literally spying on you.
Yeah, right. So mom turns to me, she's like, why is she being so awkward? And I'm like, maybe it's because the last time she saw him, she told him that his arrogance and conceit and his selfish disdain for the feelings of others made her realize that he was the last man in the world she would ever be prevailed upon to marry.
Like she literally said the meanest thing you could say to somebody who just proposed to you.
Yeah. Basically, not even if you were the last man on earth. Like, ugh.
But also, like, then realizing after, you can tell on her face, she realized, like, fuck, like that.
That was really mean.
I hated this interaction I just had. Mm-hmm. I don't feel good about it. She becomes like a stagnant statue in that house, like, because she's wallowing. Yeah. And I don't think she knows why. She doesn't know why hurting his feelings hurt her so bad. Yeah. And it's like, I totally can relate to that shit. I hate it when people are mad at me. I need constant assurance. Everyone needs to tell me everything's good all the time. Like I hate the wallowing feeling, and like she wallows.
She does. She wallows a bit in that house.
And then where he just shows up and throws that heavy ass letter on the table explaining everything. Yeah. It even makes a noise. It's like boom, thud.
The weight of all the shit that Darcy's got to say.
For real, he's got some heavy paper.
You know, that reminds me of you though, where you're so mad in the moment you can't think of anything, and you come back and you're like, so I wrote a letter, and I wrote all my feelings down.
That's funny because John and I was like, oh man, you're my Darcy, and then he's like, yeah, but Darcy. I'm not. He's like, but I'm not like him, and I was like, oh, I'm Darcy. Like, he's my Elizabeth.
You're Darcy. I was just saying, that's you. That's how you deal with things. I couldn't think of anything in the moment, so here's a letter telling you of all my feelings.
See, because then it had to go away and write it all down and give it to you, and there.
There. I get it.
It's finished. Like, good.
Yeah. That's how Darcy takes care of it. He's like, here's my feelings in a letter, and then I'm going to go fix the things the offenses and charges you've laid against me.
Yeah, because I've realized that it was fucked up what I did.
Yeah, because he said that when he wrote the letter is that he was like...
I was really trying to do... I thought it was cool.
when I was writing this letter. I thought I was good, and I was just going to be like, okay, now that I have a clear head, because we were kind of angry in that moment, this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did, and he goes, but later I realized I did not write that letter with a cool head. I was very upset when I wrote that letter. He's like, I'm sorry, I should have never wrote that letter. It was so petty. He's like trying to backtrack. That letter is like really embarrassing me that you still have it. Because that's just me being petty in a letter.
But it's not even petty. It's just he was truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just told her everything. I mean, it's better for her to see all sides, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I like about in the book is that Darcy's a lot more like, he's more regretful because we see a lot of Elizabeth wallowing, but you don't really see Darcy wallowing because the movie is on a tight Elizabeth perspective, but the book shifts to Darcy's.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you get Darcy's perspective in the book. That's why when she like first walks in and you get the 6 inches deep in mud, you know, it's because she was the whole dichotomy of that scene was that she was being seen from the Bingley siblings, because there's more in the book, because there's like a married couple and there's another sister that are all spending the time there with Bingley, and they like play cards and shit, but they see her and they're like, oh my god, look at her hem, it's like disgusting, she walked here, the gross, ew. And then Darcy sees a chick with her hair down for the first time and not in a goddamn bonnet, her face flushed from exercise, and a girl that actually likes to go out and do things, not sitting on her ass all day playing cards, you know? So she comes in, he thinks she's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen.
Yeah, she looks like
a wild, like, mythical goddess. Like, he loves it. He loves everything about it. Yeah, wild. He loves it. And she's just like, can I see my sister, please? She, like, backs out because she doesn't want anything to do with these people because she knows they're judging her.
Yeah.
Like, the second she walks in that room, she feels the judgment, and she's like, please tell me where my sister is, and she just goes upstairs. But yeah, we get Darcy's perspective in a lot of this. So when he writes that letter, he's like, oh man, I was being so petty when I wrote that letter, and I can't believe you still have it. And I mean, I'm really sorry about the way I treated you, and you're right. Well, who am I to do this stuff, you know? He goes, like, straight back in on himself. It's really cute.
Which is funny, though, because, you know, once lost is lost forever.
Well, his good opinion.
Yeah.
But she never lost his good opinion.
True.
It just took him a while to realize that she had it.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Darcy.
I know. Darcy.
Okay, let's talk about the our fave side players.
Side players.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean supporting cast?
See. First it comes up in my head, Judy Dench.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're here in the peanut gallery.
Oh. Yeah, Dame Judy Dench.
And
such a treasure.
I heard that the director called her and literally told her, so, I love when you play a bitch. Yes. And that's what made her take this role.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, is that misogyny? I don't know.
I mean, if you like it.
I mean,
if that's what you want.
Like, she was serving it.
Oh, she was so good. And the way she represents, like, the aristocracy.
Oh, yeah, and how she doesn't turn to look at anyone. Mm-hmm. They have to come into her view. Like, it's just such a subtle...
Yeah, it's such a subtle... And you understand so much of her character and the way she holds herself. And Mr. Collins, you can't sit next to your wife. Move! Over there! Shit,
or like I would have been a great proficient if I ever learned. Mm-hmm. Like what? You mean you would have been?
No one has a better ear or more natural taste.
Yeah,
I would have been a great proficient had I learned, and as well,
like so would Anne. If the health would have allowed her. Like Jesus Christ.
Well,
man.
It's that whole thing about her believing that her genes are good. You know, that's what she's saying. Her genes gave her an ear. So anybody who she has children with and her children's children has this heir gene, which means that somewhere down the line they could have a great proficient in the family. That's how, in her weird head, she's saying it.
And yet, Anne's very sickly. Like, Anne couldn't.
That's the reality.
Because of her genes.
Yeah, that's the reality of the situation. That's the moment. But in her head... That's not how it is.
It's so funny, and then her scene with all her scenes with Keira are
good,
fantastic.
I mean, Keira Knightley on her own can carry any movie she's in. She is top shelf,
yes.
Like the best of the best. That's why she's fucking in all of these period pieces because she's so smart and she's so sharp. She's Keira fucking Knightley, you know?
Yeah, and also before Pride and Prejudice, people were mad that she was cast because
she's too pretty.
Well, she's too pretty, and she was also the it girl at the time. Like she was getting cast in everything.
Oh, you mean because like Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
And shit?
Pretty much. And then right after she does Domino. I don't know if you remember, Domino.
Domino was cool.
They said that she actually had to wear a wig for a little bit after of the filming the end scenes of Pride and Prejudice because she already cut her hair for Domino and was working out. So they had to put her in long sleeves because she had muscles. And I was like, damn, wouldn't that have been cool if like you see like Elizabeth Bennet with some buff? Like, damn, girl. Like, had she done any chores, she would have.
True.
Instead of just reading at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I was like, how the hell is she awake?
Well, sometimes a book's really, really good.
True, but then like she's in the middle of the woods, coming home in the morning, and I'm like, how long was she out?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's one of the criticisms is that a woman would never be out like that. Like a woman would never be out at this time without a bonnet. Like there's like certain things that they would always like nitpick. That's why there's a lot of people that say this isn't a real adaptation. This is a modernized bastardization of the source material. And I'm like, why? Because they're not wearing bonnets. Like, come on.
Honestly, I hate bonnets. I can't. They're for babies. Don't put my girl in a bonnet.
Right. But that's the time appropriate.
Yeah, but then that's the same argument that people make for why you can't have black people in a movie. They're like, it's not like if it's about white people, there's no black people in this certain kind of neighborhood, and it's like, yeah, but it's all fiction. Like we kind of need to do better.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
it is all fiction.
It's fiction. Do better.
I'd be down with the Black Darcy.
You know what? That's why I want to
like
watch Bridgerton.
Right? I was about to mention Bridgerton. I'm like, isn't that what that is?
I hear
you saw it, right?
I hear it's spicy.
It seems super spicy from what I'm seeing.
You know what? And it's done by Shonda Rhimes. So it's like, it's mixing one of my favorite things because it took me forever to get out of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah. Cause
it's addictive.
It is. When you get into Grey's Anatomy, it's addictive. And if you can jump out, then you stay out. And you're like, okay. Let me breathe. People there. Get out. Get out.
But oh my God, Denny.
Oh my God, Denny. Don't even. I can't go into that because she still watches it. And I come in every now and then. I'm like, what's this? I gotta like escape with my life. Otherwise, I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole
and be like, it's lupus, and then walk out.
Right.
Or is that House?
House.
It was lupus.
In House, it's like always their guy always says it's lupus.
And be like, no, it's not lupus. You know what? How the fuck did House become something that everyone loved? He's a genuine asshole to people.
There's a bunch of stuff where it's like the asshole's the main character.
Yeah, but then I think, how did we find this charming? He's just a dick to everyone.
Look, I never really understood it either because I remember like in the peaks of like Civil War and stuff for Avengers, I was always Team Captain America.
Me too.
And my ex's friends were always making fun of me for it. Because they're like, oh, it's just because of who Chris Evans is. Otherwise, it would obviously be Iron Man. And I'm like,
why?
No.
Like,
like, it's obvious that I'm on Captain America's side.
Because he's the good guy.
He's the literal good guy.
Like, Tony is the one
is an anti-hero, you know?
He's
He's a good guy at the end of the day, but he's still an asshole. That's his major flaw. It's like, I want the good guy. I like Chris Evans. Like, come on. Don't make fun of me for that. I will never apologize for being Team Cap.
See,
I will constantly stand up for that. I don't give a shit. Like, you can come at me with the Iron Man's better and he's doing what's best for society and the Thanos snap bullshit. And I'm like, no, I'm Team Cap. Because when I don't think about the greater picture of things, but if there's somebody in the moment who needs help, I'm going to help them.
See,
that's how it works.
See.
It's like, yeah, you can think about the bigger picture and getting rid of half of this and doing that, but that's not how I see it. If somebody needs help in front of me, I will help them.
Very true. Mm-hmm. Plus, at the end scene where he's in the house with her and they're dancing, I'm gonna cry.
You mean where he went back in time and he spent all his life and he's sitting there in his old fart makeup on the bench, being like, "I guess it's your turn for the shield,"
which is great because then like giving the passing it on to Falcon, like that's great. But anyway, oh my God, it's gonna make me cry.
You're good. You're good.
Judy Dench.
So what did you want to? Because we started talking about
she's
Judy
amazing,
Dench, right? Yeah, she's awesome.
And the scene where she comes to their house.
Oh, late at night.
Late at night.
You have a very small garden, madam.
God, that hurts so bad.
But to be honest, they do have a very small garden. Especially when you've seen like Darcy's garden and you've seen the Lady Catherine de Bourgh's house where their glazing alone costs upwards of £20,000.
True, but she's talking about her daughters, man. Saying that you have a very small garden. Like, these are all my kids. Like, this is everything that I've got. Like, this is what I've made and created and groomed. Like, look at my daughters. I never looked at it like that. Yeah, but that's what it means. Like, that's what she means. Her daughters. Bashing the daughters. Because she's literally just saying that my one daughter got married off. My other one, you have a very small garden, madam. Like, dude,
that's kind of mean.
It is super mean.
I always thought of her being like, your house isn't worth the walk around. No, because it's a very small garden.
She's talking about her kids. I mean, she's also saying that, but she's talking about her kids. Well, like,
damn, that's kind of devastating.
It is devastating. You should have seen like the look on what's her face's face. Like, she's like.
Well, I think I took it the same way the mom took it, being like, okay, maybe we're not Lady Catherine de Bourgh, but
she's probably just not letting it. She's like, I'm not going to process that.
Yeah, like, let's just let that one go right by me, because I feel like if I process that, it's going to make me mad.
I'll be on the floor in a puddle.
Like, if I process that thought, I'm pretty sure it's going to devastate me. So I'm going to decide not to. No processing. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Be like, that was so negative, I'm gonna ignore it.
Yeah, that was so negative, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. I'm just gonna live my life like it's golden and pretend like I didn't hear that.
All positivity here.
Yeah. Hashtag positivity. Yeah, I mean, like, she's awesome,
amazing. And just to see her going back and forth with Kira, like with that tension of whether or not Darcy has proposed to her. She's like, I instantly set off to make my sentiments known, and like are the shades of Pemberley to be thus polluted? Like, the way she says all that shit.
Yeah, your own sister's elopement resulted in a scandalously patched up marriage
at the expense of your uncle.
Are the shades of Pemberley to be thus polluted?
But I love that Elizabeth stands up for herself. Yeah. She's like, I'm not gonna pretend like I can say shit freely in front of you. Like, I'm just not gonna answer your questions. Like,
I do not pretend to possess equal frankness with your ladyship.
Yeah, like
you may ask a question, I may choose not to answer.
Just because it's like
there are personal things that you can't force me to say.
Just because you are gonna like spout shit at me doesn't mean I'm gonna like do the same. Yeah. Like, we're not on the same level, lady. Yeah, but that whole scene is amazing. Like, it's perfect. And the fact that literally that's what makes Darcy come back, where he's like, my aunt went out there and she said she wouldn't say that she wouldn't marry me.
Can you imagine that conversation though for a second? Lady Catherine comes back all upset. Darcy's staying at her. Can you believe this bitch Elizabeth? Right?
Yeah, she would not give me an answer.
Yeah, you know, she probably said, like, she probably told him that she went over there to talk to her, and he's like, you went over there to talk to her? Like, what the fuck did you say? Like, yeah, and I could see her being like, oh yeah, she's this and this. And when I told her, can you believe I told her to not enter into such an engagement? And she was like, no.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to tell you yes or no. I'm not going to answer.
Right. I could see her saying it, like, so offended.
Yeah, she's super offended.
So offended by it. And Darcy's like, wait. She said she wouldn't say no.
Yeah, for real. Like,
she's like, let me do the double negative math in my head. Make sure that means yes. She wouldn't not say no.
Which is exactly what Kira said. Yeah. She said, like, you coming here is a confirmation.
If anything, if such a rumor did exist.
Yeah.
Has it not been industriously circulated by yourself? I've never heard of it.
Right there, you sounded real close to her.
Yeah, I told you, I can do Keira Knightley. That's it. I don't got a British accent. I got a Keira Knightley.
You got a Keira Knightley, and then you've got a Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. True, I sing like Fall Out Boy, and I talk my British is Keira Knightley.
She Britishes like Keira Knightley.
Yeah, because those are my examples. Yeah.
And then, okay, besides Judy Dench, also Tom Hollander playing their cousin,
Mr. Collins.
He's amazing.
He's so good. I think he does a great, because even though the way that Mr. Collins is described in the book is like this big brutish man, who's kind of like dumb-ish, but he's not really dumb. You kind of get the sense that he wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for the fact that he was so lucky.
Yeah, super lucky, and then also like grateful.
Yeah, well, it's not just grateful. It's because like fresh out of monk school or wherever he went to become like the parishioner person, or I don't know anything about religious shit.
Well, he's like the biggest ass kisser.
Yeah, but I mean, but when he got fresh out and he met Lady Catherine, he just like went full like, oh, Your Excellency, like the like, you know, his stupid flowery language that he uses whenever he describes her. So he had the perfect mouth for the ass he needed to kiss.
Yes.
To get that position. And I think that it was like kind of well known that everyone else around him didn't understand how he got there. But it's like he's good at being fake with flowery language, and the person that hired him loves fake flowery language.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Yeah. Someone who has legit power and can raise him up.
Yeah, but he seemed more like oblivious to what he was doing. Like he was like a bull, just like trampling around his environment, not being aware of how he's coming off.
Yeah.
With how sometimes being overly flattery, like the flattery that he uses was so over the top that it was like, can you believe this asshole?
Yeah, for real.
It's like it was so see-through, which is why that whole conversation at the table, it's like, oh, no one would expect your manners to be rehearsed. It's like that's kind of the oafishness that he's portrayed as. And then this Mr. Collins does such a good job of like capturing that like weird essence of
yeah, like creepy, but also naive.
Yeah, like not understanding, like oblivious.
Yeah,
his obliviousness is like just the right type of oblivious.
But then also like he's not, because I found the BBC one to be a little predatory. Like he scared me a little bit.
Well, I think the BBC one was more realistic. If that person had actually existed in society, like from the book, he would be kind of predatory because he wouldn't understand why you wouldn't. He doesn't understand why you would say no.
His anger scared me in the BBC version. While in this one, because Tom Hollander's kind of he's got a good heart and you can see it.
He brings a good heart to him.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, and he's like looking in the ballroom and he's looking up.
And he's got like that flower and he sighs.
Yes. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, he does. He makes him. It makes it so that when Elizabeth tells that joke later, she's like, "Oh, Lizzie, if only you could be so happy. If only there was another man for you." And she's like,
maybe Mr. Collins is a cousin, which would be also your cousin.
But yeah, they are the cousins of the Collins. Perhaps Mr. Collins is a cousin. That's the whole joke, because they are his cousin. Yeah, it's so good. It's like you understand. Like, I feel like Mr. Collins in this is not the one from the book, but the one that I like.
Yeah.
I think that he brought so much to that character.
Yes,
it was good.
It was good. Mm-hmm. Let's read Fordyce's sermons.
Right? And the thing is, Mary was into that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mary was fine, because she was also, she also reads from, like, the etiquettes of lady or whatever before she goes to bed, because she's weird like that. And she would have been perfect for Mr. Collins. If only their mom didn't want to get rid of Lizzie so badly.
You know what? But Charlotte, she made the best of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that Charlotte's character is like...
They make it come off tragic, but I honestly feel like, she hustled.
She did. She did what she needed to do.
She had good reasons for it.
Yeah, and she's happy. She has a parlor for her own particular use.
Has the pig escaped again? I was like, oh, that's funny. How many times have you been chasing after that pig?
You brought that's best.
But then when they're at Lady Catherine's house and be like, I've told Mrs. Collins this. That
excellence can be acquired without constant practice. I said this to Mrs. Collins.
And be like, you could use the house. I know you don't have your own instrument, but you can use the housekeepers.
You won't be in the way in that part of the house.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So good. Judy Dench.
I guess someone's practicing piano. Jesus. And it was funny to see that scene again too, because I wasn't quite aware of what was going on before. I mean, I was aware, but it kind of hit a little harder.
It hit different
when Lady Catherine told Lizzie, like, no, play the play in front of us. Like, and it was just like, but I told you I suck. Like, she's like, no, I want you to play. I want us to see you suck.
When I say I play poorly, I'm not afflicted with false modesty. Come now, Lizzie.
And it's I want to show, I want to belittle you in front of people. I want to see you suck.
I didn't see it as a I want to see you suck. I saw it more as a you're bothering me. Go do something. Contribute to the atmosphere. I don't give a shit how. Just get out.
But even then, it's like if you're contributing in bad sound, like that's worse.
But that's not what she's trying to do. I don't think that's what she's getting at in the moment. Like I want to see you suffer. I think it's more of a she hasn't been able to
poke at her. Yeah, she's poking at her, trying to figure her out.
She's probably used to poking at things and them withering.
Yeah.
So she's not withering.
Which telling her that she doesn't play well.
But it gets her out of the way.
Yeah, it's not like she's
thinking, I'm going to get Lizzie this time, you know?
I think she might be thinking a little like that.
Later she gets there. Like, I think when she's in her house and she's like, this bitch.
She's not even. There isn't
like she's beyond, she's beyond whatever.
There's not even a veneer for that.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally just saying, you guys are sluts and I don't want you part of my family. Like, she's not even sidestepping.
No, she's right to her face. Which you gotta respect.
Yeah, I was about to say,
respect.
like that's
straight to the face.
Yeah, like not behind anyone's back. She was like, "No, I heard this rumor came right here to confirm with you
that this is what's going on."
And like, I'm not even gonna like talk about this behind anyone's back. I'm coming to you to ask you. I think you've been spreading this rumor.
It's not been just circulated.
It's crazy, but I do think that she felt like she could make her wither in that moment. Like if someone's telling you like I don't know how to do a certain thing or I'm really bad at something, like, and then they tell you no, go do it. Like putting someone on the spot like that makes people wither, you know.
But not Lizzie.
Well, she doesn't know Lizzie. That's the thing.
But I think that I totally see where you're coming from, but I'm just not getting that at all. Like, because I don't think that she's that big of a blip in her mind yet. In this moment, I think that you're thinking, oh, she's doing this on purpose and all of this. I think that what's happening is a side effect of Catherine de Bourgh being kind of annoyed, but she's not actively putting anything into it. It's you're kind of annoying me. I know you said that you can't play piano, but go play piano.
Yeah, go do something that girls do.
Yeah, go do something that girls are supposed to be able to do. Because
even though you didn't have a governess and you couldn't.
Yeah, it's like it almost feels like lies. I think because she's saying she didn't have a governess, but she's not breaking, and she's smart. So go play piano. Go do something.
Yeah, like false modesty.
Yeah, just go do your thing. Get out of the conversation. And she plays piano. She's not that bad. I mean, she trips up a lot. But it's not like the worst thing in the world.
If I was playing with my elbows.
Well, I think she was also asking her about what she does because she's got that blue blood. She wants to be entertained. What can you do? Do you draw? Do you sing?
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing?
Perform for me.
Yeah. Show me what. Like I want to. That's what you guys do. You perform, right? Do your performance.
See, and you're the new thing here.
Show me what you got. You know.
I see that too.
But I think but by the time she like confronts her, oh yeah, full evil villainous bitch, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think in that moment she was trying to do anything like that. I think she was just trying to, because then after Fitzwilliam, I need you. When the guy started surrounding her, she's like, no, you come back to my conversation.
See, like you guys drifted away. The heck, bitch.
Because they'd rather talk to Lizzie.
Well, they'd rather talk to the young girl in the room.
Exactly right. You can't underestimate youth.
And the first scene shot for the movie was literally the one with Lady Catherine. The one.
Oh, because they have to do all of Judy Dench's scenes first?
Well, I mean, they don't say that they had to do it like that, but literally that table scene where they make Tom Hollander move to sit with his wife, that scene's first scene shot in the movie. Yeah. And the last scene shot in the movie was the one where Lizzie's sitting at the tree talking to Wickham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the last one. And I thought, that's interesting. Like,
that was like film?
Yeah. The first shot scene, last shot scene. That whole dance in the ballroom in the white party. Yeah. That was all done in one take.
Well, yeah, it would have had to have been that many extras. Can you imagine the reset on that?
True, but like amazing that they got they got so floaty and beautiful. Like that scene is so intense too. We didn't even talk about that scene.
What, in the white ballroom?
Yeah, where they're just talking and she's like, well, let's just talk about the room or the number of couples. Like are you always like, no, I like to be taciturn and
sociable and taciturn. It's like, yeah. That was their little back and forth there. Great.
Oh, and then I got a couple of random stuff from Jane Austen where she actually thought that the novel was too frivolous when she first wanted to get it published.
It was like one of her first ones, right? Pride
It was.
Prejudice?
She was 17 when she had submitted it to a publisher, and they legit said they didn't even read it. They returned it. They were like, no, we're not going to read this. And then she didn't actually get it published until she was 37, after Sense and Sensibility was already famous. Because no one believed in it. But Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice is the best.
And she also published it anonymously.
Yeah.
She put it by a lady.
A lady. This was written by a lady. Not going to tell you which one, but it was a lady.
And let me see. We already talked about that, where the different endings. Oh, Bingley, the actor who played Bingley, and the actress who played Jane really dated in life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
They broke up before they did the movie.
Aww. Oh, they were exes.
They were exes. It says they made the best out of an awkward situation.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
good.
if I could have done that.
I mean, I could not have done that. All my exes go to the island of misfit boys.
No, they go to the island of you died. you died. Everyone you knew died.
I've never seen you
I'm never
again.
seeing none of you again.
Yeah. Snip, snip, bitch. Snip, snip, bitch. Right out the life.
Oh, and also Emma Thompson, the actress, she wrote some of the scenes in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, in particular, the one where she gets the letter about Lydia running off with Wickham. That scene where she comes
out
in,
from behind.
yeah, and then she cries and goes back in. Like Emma Thompson wrote that scene.
That's cool.
Yeah, so she's super talented. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And also, you probably knew this already, but the scene where Darcy and Bingley are doing the proposals to each other,
When he's-
that was improv.
Oh, really?
They improvised that entire
That's
scene.
cute.
And like that's like one of the funniest moments.
I love that. we were gonna walk in, and she was gonna say, "Sit down."
The-
Here, let's try this again. Mrs. Bennett,
Mr. Bingley.
Steve, that's voice. That was so cute. I love that part.
And that was improvised.
Yeah, of course it was. I love
All the
stupid
best
boy
stuff. All the best stuff comes from improv.
Well, I think that when you have something that's very well scripted, and then you can take the best of the improv that has been done. You know? So it's like all the improv that's in there are just like little sparkles of jewels, you know, just decorating it. It's great. Okay, final thoughts on the movie. Mrs. Darcy. You can only call me Mrs. Darcy when you're perfectly and incandescently happy.
Oh my god. That's so good.
I know.
And then it's all
It's
over
such,
her
it's such,
face.
Like, nice
so
and sweet fluff.
sweet and like sweet.
It's adorable.
It's just like, and it's like pure, and it's like
like
cute
those
on the cheek and on the forehead, on the nose, on the side.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's super cheesy. Don't get me wrong, but there are moments when your guard is that far down that the cheese is good.
Especially when you make it through the entire movie and you're just glad that they're together.
Finally.
And I'm just. And with romantic movies, I feel like sometimes you don't get to see happy. You don't get to see the happy part. You only get to see like the conflict, and then yay, we're happy again.
Happily ever after, and you never get to see the ooey gooey.
Yeah, and I feel like we got to see a little snapshot of the ooey gooey, especially when it was like, well, what endearments am I allowed? And she's like, my pearl for Sundays,
and goddess divine,
but only on very special occasions.
I'm like, what about when I'm cross, Mrs. Darcy?
For one, I'm like, why are you gonna be cross?
Right. First off, you can't be cross with me.
Yeah, for real. Like, hello.
You can't be mean to me.
Yeah, we can't be mad at each other.
You're not allowed to be mean to me. I can be mean to you, but you have to take it.
I dish. I do not take.
I do not take it back. So please don't be mean to me.
For real, please don't be mean to me.
Please don't be mean to me.
Like, please.
I'm begging you.
But like, this movie is so satisfying when it comes to that.
Yeah, when it comes to hitting that.
Yeah, and it's literally like what like why Bridgerton was created. You know, like
I've heard so much about Bridgerton, but
I'm
haven't watched it
excited.
yet.
I want to see it.
I walked in while Mom was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty spicy. Because I was like, what?
Nice.
Because like I'm talking to her and all of a sudden I get distracted by the TV and I start watching it, you know, and I'm like, what is this?
I think it's just chisme and sex. I'm pretty sure.
I saw there's a YouTube channel I follow called The Take, and they did a take where they said they were making a video essay about why Bridgerton's like a fan fiction of the moment of today. So it's like because it's like everything in it. I guess the people are modern, but the setting is like
not.
So it's like somebody's fan fiction of something that would take place today. And I haven't seen the video yet because I'm waiting till after I watch Bridgerton. But like I was like, oh, okay, that seems like it's pretty cool, right?
That also just kind of sounds like a backhanded compliment. A way to say that something isn't written well.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I just know what the title of the video is. I haven't clicked on it yet. So I was just thinking, but having that even be like a take that somebody has, super interesting.
Because literally, I mean, that's what you could say about 50 Shades of Grey. It's like, it's Twilight, you know.
It is Twilight fan fiction.
Fan fiction.
But they're talking about it being a fan fiction of today.
Ah.
Like of this current moment in this era and stuff like that. I was like, okay. Sounds interesting.
You're like, who's a fan of this time right now?
No one. That's why you make it
Fiction.
fiction. Yeah, make it fiction.
But yeah, love this movie. Still holds up. Shocked me when it was. I still haven't done the math of how old this movie already is.
Oh, from 2005?
Yeah, I don't want to do the math.
It's 16.
No, my God, no.
16.
That is so many years.
16 years. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty stoned right now. I can double check my math though. I think it's 16 years.
Oh my God, that's so many years.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things is I remember when Charlotte's like, I am 27 and already a burden on my parents. And I'm like, damn. I'm past that. It's like shit. And I remember
they would have buried you.
they would have. Only the strongest love will persuade me into matrimony, which is why I will die an old maid.
With your cat.
Yeah, with my cat. I love my cat. We will die together. God damn it, I lost my train of thought. Look what you're doing. Stop making me get distracted. Mom, she's distracting me. What was I trying to say?
That you're old?
Oh, yeah, no. Thank you. Because watching it was so weird hearing that line now compared to when I first watched the movie.
Oh, yeah, because when you first watched the movie, you're
I was
like,
in high
oh
school.
yeah, like
I was in high school.
27's old.
Yeah. You're 20. You're like, oh my God, she's 27 already and still unmarried? What's wrong with her?
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, like that's, and then now I'm watching it now and I'm like,
She can't help that she's plain. Like, that's mean.
Mama.
It's like get mom away from the wine.
I know, right? Oh man, that wine makes her.
She's so cute though, like in her poofy dresses, and she's got like her spoon and her wine.
And she's just like,
yeah, she's humming and her feet are kicking,
like kicking and dangling.
You know what? Honestly, you do you.
Yeah, she's so charming. Yeah. She brought so much to that role too. That was so good. Because I hate the mother character in the book. She's awful.
Overbearing. Like,
yeah, it's like I can't even imagine what it would be like having a parent like that. It's And then she makes her so charming. I mean, yeah, she's still annoying and she's still like...
Wait, because she's still got to play that character.
Yeah, but
she brings her own...
The charm to it.
Sparkle in there.
Yeah.
And she's like... you forgive her. Because you know it comes out of love.
Yeah. 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 You feel like it comes from love. So you're good with her being weird like that.
Yeah.
You know, a person, I will never speak to you again. A person like me with these nerves can never have any fun talking to anybody.
Like, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see how long that lasts.
I always knew they were unfit to take care of her. She's like, oh, Lydia, she must know what this is doing to my poor nerves.
Her poor mama.
You will be destitute. They will turn him out before he's cold in his grave.
Oh my God. And the fact that it just kind of goes like over her head once Lydia's married, and she's like, it wasn't put in the papers, it ought to have been.
It was very small. No mention of a family.
And it's like, girl,
Like,
girl, you're lucky they didn't. Like, you're lucky they didn't say anything.
Yeah,
like the rest of your daughters skated by.
Barely. Scandalously patched up marriage.
Yeah, because where they go, like where Lydia and Wickham go, it's literally to the Las Vegas of that time. Like it's literally like she ran off to Vegas, and this was in like 1797, which is when she wrote Pride and Prejudice.
With a fallen sister, who will marry you now? Shit.
Like nobody.
Fuck me, man. Ugh.
Imagine your life being over 27.
I know, right?
God, like I feel like my life was just beginning at 27.
It's like the societal expectations of that time. I just
Horrible. Although everyone was dying, so
everyone died, so there was a plus side. At least you'll die.
at least you die early.
At least you get to die soon. So that's the plus. Can you imagine? Yeah. 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Best movie ever.
See, best movie ever. We'll forever love Keira Knightley. I will support anything she's in.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love seeing when Keira Knightley's doing stuff.
Yeah, so she's great. May watch Matthew McFadden, depending
on how they're doing his makeup.
Depending on how he presents.
Are you into like the Darcys of the world? Or are you more into like the Bingleys? Like, was Darcy your perfect man? Because I think it's weird that Darcy's always considered like the perfect man. Because I think he's a perfect man for Elizabeth, but he's not my perfect man.
No, like honestly, no. I thought their relationship was perfect.
Yeah,
by the end
for each other.
Yeah, that's what I latch onto is that connection that they have. Mm-hmm. That's what's wonderful. And literally, I was watching the movie, and we got to the end bit, and I got so sad because John was not here.
Aww,
and I
made you feel lonely.
It made me feel lonely, and I was like, and then when he got here during his break, I was like, I was so sad you weren't here to see this movie. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, you had to go through that.
Yeah, you had to watch a chick flick by yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, where were you?
Yeah, if you're watching a chick flick, you need like ice cream, and you need like a blankie. And you need to be wrapped up. You need to be wearing like a unicorn hoodie, you know?
Yeah, so I was like, it made me really, really need my boyfriend.
No. And that's the appeal of chick flicks. Yeah, there you go.
We Likey.
Best movie.
Speaking of.
Oh. Hey, Jackson, what are you liking?
We had already agreed that I was going to end up doing them first anyways.
Yeah. I just, gotta make sure I get in there. Gotta, cover my bases. Make sure that it's... What's your liking? Don't get out of this. What do you like? Don't distract me. I see what you're doing. What's your liking? Come on, say it.
I would say that my Me Likey would have to...
Yeah, see, she's stalling for time.
Be...
She's like, I can't think of anything.
I thought I had stuff, and then it went...
I have a Me Likey. I'll go first. I'll go first for my Me Likey. You want to know what my Me Likey is? WandaVision just finished.
Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. I was watching it week to week.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good.
So good?
Yeah. It's like, oh, man. Wanda, and it's all Wanda and Vision. Like, literally, like, if you want to talk, like, love and chick flick stuff, this is, like, Marvel I can get behind.
Yeah.
I can get behind Scarlet Witch. I really can. Because it's like... I'm not going to spoil anything because I want you to watch it, but like the first couple episodes, each episode is dedicated to a different time period in television.
That's what it looks like.
So like the first one is like Dick Van Dyke, and then it moves on to like Malcolm in the Middle eventually, and like Modern Family. So they do, and like Full House, they do an episode each that does like a different take on a different type of series. And it's like, it's kind of weird and it's like trippy, and you never know what's going to happen until it happens. And then there's always like the classic Marvel like end credit scene, but they don't do that for like the first couple episodes, but then eventually there is an end credit scene, so you have to go through the credits, and there's so many credits. Like there's normal credits, and then there's like the dubbing credits, so it's like you think that you have like a 23-minute episode or like a 30-minute episode, and it's really like minus 7 minutes from that, because that's how many credits there are. Jesus. It's like 7-10 minutes of credits. But each episode was like really good. I think it started slow, but then it picked up and it went straight Marvel. Like, oh man, like no quality was lost. And it's vision. It's Paul Bettany.
See.
Like,
come we love Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany's amazing. Like, I said to Mom, it's like, honestly, he walked into my heart naked in A Knight's Tale.
See, and never left.
Yeah, and never left. He's been in there ever since. Like, I follow it. He's one of my faves.
Everything he's in.
Yeah, he gets saved on the ship when Earth blows up. He goes on. If I get to choose, Paul Bettany's in there.
Good choice,
right? Yeah, so that's my Me Likey because it just finished.
Yeah,
like literally because there's only like 9 episodes, and it just finished, and it's supposed to lead into Captain Marvel 2 and the new Doctor Strange movie that was supposed to come out, Multiverse of Madness. So that one's going to be the next. It's like leading into it because now they're starting to go into the different multiverses for Avengers moving forward. So then there's the new Loki one that's coming out, and that's like Loki, and it looks like he's being like there's all this stuff. There's so much talk about it online, just because of like the stuff that's happening. Oh, and Winter Soldier and Falcon, their shit's coming up now too.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's so good. And oh my God, the guest stars in it. Like Deborah Jo Rupp from That 70s Show, the mom. She's in it. Anya from Buffy. She's in it. Who else is the girl that plays her next door neighbor? There's great people in it. Great cast.
Who's next door?
It's a great cast. I don't want to spoil too much stuff, okay? I don't want to spoil too much things because literally everything about it is weird. And everything about it makes you think that there's a clue behind everything. They even have like fake commercials like from that time period in it, and it's like clues and shit for what's going to happen. Like it's so trippy. It's a good trippy though. Like it's a fun ride. If you like Marvel movies, it's great cuz it's like yeah, this is like, honestly, she'll be my Halloween costume.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. She's great. I love Wanda. WandaVision. Disney Plus. Watch it. Me Likey. So, did you think of one?
Yes.
Okay. What's your Me Likey?
The movie Love and Basketball.
Weren't you just watching that?
Was I watching that one? Was it that one?
Is that the one with Omar Epps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball.
Yeah,
It's so good, and I missed it completely. Like, and it's just such a good movie. Like the main two are so great. The actress who plays the lead, and then Omar Epps. Like they're both so good. Although he's a little to be playing like an NBA star.
He's a little. Yeah, I understood the word little. Oh, I got it.
But like, it's so rare to see not only a movie that's surrounding the female in an athletic movie. Like we never see movies about a female athlete, and when they're doing like, she literally she's like an athlete.
You mean like I, Tonya?
I actually haven't seen I, Tonya. I need to watch it.
So
but
good.
I'm scared because I don't want her to scare me.
Margot Robbie's not scary in that movie. She's
even though she's gonna hurt somebody.
Allegedly.
she's gonna allegedly hobble someone.
Allegedly. Yeah, it was the dude, right? It wasn't her. She didn't do it.
Misogyny right there. She gets blamed for it. But anyways, like just to be that there's so little movies about female athletes in general, and how that Love and Basketball was actually written before the WNBA was even created.
Really?
Yeah, like to where they ended up writing in the end scene where she's in the WNBA.
Spoilers.
You weren't ever gonna watch it.
I might have. It was recommended to me during a podcast.
You don't even like basketball.
I saw The Last Dance.
That doesn't even pass for dancing.
No, what? No, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie.
No, the Michael
Save the
Jordan
Last Dance.
Save the Last Dance. No, that's the documentary that was on Netflix.
And I was like, that's just a black guy.
It was like a 6-part series. That
See,
talked about,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
The
it was
Last
so
Dance
good.
was amazing.
Yeah. I don't like basketball, but I liked the last Dance. It was good.
Well, okay.
And
honestly,
I was shocked because I know Michael Jordan is like Michael Jordan. I know him as a celebrity, and then like watching him play basketball, like fuck.
Like, yeah,
he can play basketball.
For real, fuck.
He can really play. And it makes sense. Of course, he plays basketball. I'm not an idiot.
No, but he's like a different beast.
Yeah, like even somebody like me who doesn't even understand basketball can see he can play. He can play. Like that's crazy. Like it was so like
there's a reason why he's a legend.
I can see the reason why he's a legend because it's great. I mean, I don't like basketball, but I like the way he played.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so I would totally be into something like that's why if you recommend it, then yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, well the ending it's not really a spoiler because it's kind of like an after credit.
I yelled spoilers. That's what this was. Okay, sorry. Continue.
It's more of an after credits because it's kind of obvious from the beginning of the movie that she's gonna like be part of that culture. She's that driven, and that's what I loved about the movie. It's such a driven female, like, and like she never takes her eyes off of that.
Off her goal.
Even though, I mean, the entire movie, it compares the two journeys. Mm-hmm. Like, he is going into basketball, she's going into basketball, and yet, like, how how his life turns out and how her life turns out. And it's just interesting because you see the realness of how, like, no one really takes women's basketball seriously. Like, how much more, like, she has to fight for her to be taken seriously. Like, how much she has to, much harder she has to play.
Compares her journey to his journey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And the fact that it's very, and you can see the athlete, because the director and the writer was an athlete. She was an actual.
So it feels like a true story.
Yeah. And it's great. And I love that there's, that is out there. Mm-hmm. Plus, the entire cast is mainly Black. Like, and it's just like, wow, this totally passed me, like, went over my head, didn't see it. And this is a great movie. Like, and so it's definitely going into my...
It's always nice finding a great movie.
Yeah.
It's never a bad experience.
Yeah. And I'm just glad it exists.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. Yeah. If it's getting that kind of praise. Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah. The only part that I really don't like is I won't
spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me. Okay. Thank you for listening to another You Don't Make Friends with Giant Squids podcast. I'm Squid.
And I'm Jackson.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Later. Yeah, 10 seconds. Hey everyone, it's Squid. Congratulations on reaching the end of the video. I just wanted to thank our patrons for supporting us this month. If you want to become a patron, or if you want to find out more information about future updates or past projects, please follow the links below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.